Well, hello. So for today's vlog, I'm going to do a Q&A. I asked Facebook on my Facebook stories, I put up a question box for questions for me to answer. And I've got my breakfast here. This is keto custard that we made yesterday, but this is actually going live on the blog today. It's so delicious. I put a little extra brown sugar on top. So good. So yeah, let's get on this Q&A. Let me navigate to it. And of course, I've also got my coffee, my Coke coffee. All right, we are ready to get started. Okay, first question. How long did it take you to lose 60 pounds and what do you do for exercise? So it has taken me a year to lose the 60 pounds, and it's about 65 pounds now. And I did it really, some people would consider that slow because most people, or a lot of people, whenever they think of how much weight they want to lose, they think, I want to lose 2 pounds a week. Well, 2 pounds a week is over 100 pounds in a year. And that, for me, in my opinion, is a recipe for self-sabotage. So in order to lose 2 pounds a year, 2 pounds a week, you've got to really cut your food, and you've got to be hungry, to be honest. Yes, if you're keto, you'll be fat adapted. But when you cut your food that much, being fat adapted, you're going to get hunger pangs. And hunger, it can be it's something that our body is telling us to eat. So when you're hungry all day, eventually you're going to give in. Hunger always wins. So I did it slow, and I think that what I'm doing right now is super sustainable. I could do this for the rest of my life. And I guess that brings me to, she asked, what do I do for exercise? So for exercise, I lift weights, I walk, and I do the Peloton. But I didn't always do this much exercise. Right now I walk 12,000 steps. But just late last year, I was only walking like 4,000 steps. And just now have I bumped that up. I wasn't lifting weights much last year. And just now I added in the strength training. I was doing the Peloton, but sometimes I would take breaks. So it's not about, it doesn't matter what exercise you do. You can do whatever you want. You can go and do dance. You can go and just walk. Just walk is all it takes. 10 minutes. You don't have to walk for an hour. 10, 15 minutes. That's all you need to do to get started. We get caught up in doing too much. We think we have to do a whole lot of stuff, and we think that just 10 or 15 minutes is not going to be enough. But it is. It gets you started, and you can build on it. You can start with 10 or 15 minutes, and then maybe in 6 months you can do 30 minutes. Or 4 months you can do 30 minutes. It's all about building habits that stick. And if you start off with an hour of walking a day, that's too much. Especially if you haven't been walking at all, you're going to burn yourself out. That's not a habit that's going to stick. And so that takes me to the next question. Do I count calories and carbs? They asked what my numbers are, but I'm just going to direct you to the calculator.net. Also, Maria Mind Body Health has a keto macro calculator that's really good. I count calories. I count my carbs. And if I have to, I don't mind counting calories for the rest of my life. It literally takes me 2 minutes to put my food into an app on my phone. If that means in today's society, there's so much food that we have to navigate. And there's an abundance. We don't have to go out and hunt for our food. We don't have to go out and, farm for our food and work for our food. We can just go to the drive-thru. So it's really easy to just get food. Just like it's really easy to spend money. So we have to budget. We have to budget our money every day. We have to budget our food every day. And if we don't budget our money, we're going to overspend. A lot of people, if we don't budget our food, we're going to overeat. So whenever we just kind of like accept reality, and whenever we are kind of arguing with how reality is, how food has become so incredibly delicious, and how it's so abundant, and how shopping is so incredibly fulfilling and so abundant, we have to navigate around those things, those pleasures. Those are two things that are very pleasurable that we have to budget for. So those food manufacturers really know how to make food that is pleasurable, that really hits our pleasure sensors in our brain, neurotransmitters. So they know, they spend millions of dollars on doing this, making the food this way. Who knows how much they spent on this coffee to get it to be where I love it, and I drink 2 a day. Good thing it's 0 calories, right? So just keep in mind, we're living in a society now that it's not natural for humans. It's not a natural society. It's causing a lot of havoc. But we can learn to navigate this society. We just have to give ourselves some checks and balances. We have to budget our food. We have to budget our money. I'm doing Atkins Low Carb. Is that similar to the way I eat? So I think Atkins might be, so for the new Atkins, I don't know. I think the new Atkins is really, with all of the frankenfoods and all of the maltitol and the bars and the shakes, and if you avoid all of that stuff, you'll probably be pretty good. Just get in some protein, lots of protein. I know that keto people are like, no, not lots of protein, that'll spike your blood sugar. If you eat your protein with fat, it's not going to spike your blood sugar that much. And it's satisfying when you combine, that's how nature intended us to eat, protein with fat. So that's what we should eat. And not an excessive amount of fat. Somebody's asked if the keto bread is really keto. It says keto bread. All you can do is see if it spikes your blood sugar. I eat the keto bread. I'm going to actually have a piece today for lunch with some butter on it. It's going to be delicious. But yeah, I eat it and I'm losing weight. So I don't know. You eat it. It's like 70 calories a slice. It's not that big of a deal. But I love that it's keto. I love that it doesn't affect my blood sugar. I give it to my kids. They love it. So I think it's a great option. How much water do I drink per day? How often do you exercise, and for how long do you exercise? So I guess I already went over my exercise. But I drink enough water. I just drink enough. You just have to, there's no like set amount. Some people need to drink a gallon of water because they spend a lot of time outside, they sweat, they do a lot of exercise. I don't know how much water I drink, to be honest. Maybe 100 ounces, but I drink a lot of coffee. I drink, 2 of these. I drink tea, and then I'll drink a few big cups of water, 3 or 4 actually, big cups of water. And I usually I don't think I go to the bathroom a lot for how much water I drink. I guess I use a lot. My body processes a lot of water. And I might wake up once in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. But I don't think we should be drinking excessive amounts of water. You shouldn't be going to the bathroom once an hour. That's not normal. As long as your urine is pale yellow, you're fine. But I'm not a doctor, of course. I always have to put that out there. Listen to the doctors. Not really. I don't know. Some know what they're talking about, and some no, not so much. Let's see. What do you think about low carb tortillas and keto breads? Yeah, again, I think they're a great option if you're not trying to be gluten free. I'm not. Gluten doesn't really bother me too much. Now, I don't eat them a lot. Maybe like I'll eat a piece of bread or a tortilla like twice a week. But I mean, you can eat it every day if you want to. You need to eat the food that makes you feel good. If you eat something and it doesn't make you feel good, it actually makes you feel bad, then you shouldn't be eating it. Broccoli, cauliflower, makes me feel horrible. Brussels sprouts. I get so bad stomach cramps. I don't eat those foods very often. And when I do, I'm like, regretting it. Bread, like keto breads, they don't bother my stomach. So you just have to listen to your body. Some people, it's like red bell peppers. They are really tough on their stomach. You should avoid those foods. Dairy, if dairy is a problem for you, you should avoid that. Dairy's not a problem for me, thank goodness. Coconut flour, that's a problem for me. So that's why a lot of my recipes they don't use coconut flour. Almond flour doesn't affect me. It does affect people. It's, you just have to do what works for you. This is a really good question. Do you know if anxiety medication can make it difficult to get into ketosis? I've done keto before. I lost 135 pounds. I've hit a stall and gained 20 pounds since. So, it's not ketosis. The role of ketosis does not, if you're in ketosis, it does not mean you're automatically losing weight. You can still be overeating and be in ketosis. What I will say about some medications is they may affect your hunger signals. So if you're feeling, you have to be careful, because if that medication, especially like steroid medications, they can make you more hungry. And that's why people gain weight on these medications. It's not the medication itself. And the medication could be making your insulin a little high. But if you're also overeating with the medication making your insulin high, you're going to store fat. So you just got to be careful. Know your numbers. Go and check you're in what you should be eating to lose weight on a calorie calculator, because that medicine is affecting your hunger signals potentially. Go and see calculator.net, the calorie calculator, and just plug in your numbers. If you exercise, put it in accurately, and it's going to tell you how much you need to eat to maintain, to lose a half a pound, to lose 1 pound, to lose 2 pounds. And then you will want to track your food. Make sure you are weighing and measuring your food, because that medicine could be affecting your hunger signals. What do you eat for side dishes? I eat the same thing over and over and it's boring. Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret. I do not eat side dishes. I think that's a very modern, it's just extra calories. I would rather just eat the main dish. I don't eat side dishes. Usually they're heavy in like broccoli and cauliflower, and those foods I just don't eat. Other than that, like asparagus, I can't really eat that. It hurts my stomach. Let me think. Yeah. I might eat a piece of the keto bread with butter. But other than that, let's see, some cheese. My side dish will be a piece of cheese, a piece of nice, really good manchego cheese. So good. Yeah, I just don't eat side dishes. I really don't make side dishes for my family. I think that's just something we've been conditioned to believe that we need, and we really don't need it. We really don't need a side dish. Your main dish is all you need. I mean, you could make your own like plate of just keto foods. It doesn't have to be side dishes. It could be a piece of steak, some cheese, a piece of keto bread with butter. Yeah, some eggs. I mean, start thinking more of what can I fill my plate with of nutrition instead of like I need a side dish. It needs to have a starch or a bread. It doesn't. You can steak, some eggs with butter. You know, that could be a good side dish, and it's more nutritious. So much nutrition in eggs with butter. So much more nutrition in eggs with butter than any other vegetable. Vegetables that could potentially hurt your stomach. So yeah, to be honest. And side salads. I mean, side salads are just, they can be calorie bombs. I would much rather eat some eggs with butter or a piece of the keto bread with butter or some cheese. Much more nutrient dense and not as much of a calorie bomb as a side salad. Because a side salad, I mean, people put bacon, they put dressing, and then they put cheese, and it's just, that could be like 400 calories in a side salad. I'd rather, and then it's not that filling. I'd rather have some eggs with butter. What is the best way to break a stall? So the best way to break a stall is to really, really be diligent and honest with yourself about how much you're eating. I hear so much of people, and then also, you know, sometimes if you have been chronically under eating, like in a chronic, I don't want to say chronically, but if you've been in a calorie deficit for a while, that can put a little stress on your body. And then that makes your body retain water. So if you're in a stall, it could be water retention. But the best advice I can give is make sure you are actually being honest with how much food you're eating. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Make sure you're not trying to restrict too much. Not that it's gonna make you stall. It could make you just stall because you are holding on to water weight. Sometimes you bump up your calories a couple hundred calories a day for a week, and you'll have a whoosh of water weight because your body was holding on to water weight because it was a little stressed. So I think that's the best advice I can give. If you're stall, and make sure it's actually a stall, right? Make sure you're being really consistent for at least 2 weeks to a month. And then if you still don't see any weight loss, now it's time to reevaluate how much you're eating, making sure you're really tracking your portions, weighing your food out, and being diligent with how much, and honest with yourself how much you're eating. And that's, you know, whenever I'm in a stall, I just have to get really honest with myself and just be like, am I actually doing all that I can do right now? And most of the time the answer is no. Most of the time I can look back on my plateau and be like, okay, I overate all of these days. Well, of course I'm in a stall. I haven't been honest with myself. I haven't been consistent. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we just go through those phases. How many kids do I have? I have 2 kids. I have an 11-year-old boy and I have a 7-year-old girl. My my 11-year-old, his name is Hayden, but my 7-year-old girl, her name is Audrey, and they are both amazing. So, and we're working on eating much less sugar. They eat pretty close. I mean, they eat low carb, and that's how it's going to be. They eat eggs. They eat sausage. My daughter still eats bananas and strawberries. She still eats a little bit of fruit. They drink milk, but I'd give them the Fairlife protein milk. It only has 6 grams of carbs per cup. Yeah, I don't think kids need sugar. They don't need sugar. And if people are trying to tell you like, oh, just let them be a kid, let them have sugar, you don't have to listen to them. I'm not. I think that it's a horrible, horrible thing to think that that kids need to eat all of this junk. And then you actually see what a kid who eats low carb eats, and you think that's not healthy? I mean, really? You think my kid eating eggs and sausage and some strawberries is less healthy than a sandwich on whole wheat bread? I mean, give me a break. Give me a freaking break. No way. Absolutely no way. So yeah, my kids, they may be mad at me. They may be wishing that I would give them sugar, but I'm teaching them what the repercussions are later in life when you are constantly consuming sugar, which makes you overeat. It's not that sugar itself is bad. It's what sugar does to your body, and it makes you overeat. It affects your hormones, your ghrelin, your leptin, your insulin. It makes you overeat. So I teach that to my kids. They are getting the picture, and they're wanting to eat what I eat. So that it's been really great. How to satisfy a sweet tooth? Well, keto custard right here. I've just been sitting here staring at it. I haven't had this cold yet. I've only had it warm, and I bet you this is kind of like creme brulee. I mean, where in the world could you just have creme brulee for breakfast and not feel like crap afterwards because of all the sugar? Mm-hmm. 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 Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the best way to satisfy a sweet tooth right there. That or the keto fudge that I made last week. But of course you have to fit it into your daily balance, right? Your calorie balance, your budget, your calorie budget. Just like we budget our money, budget our food, because we live in a society where food is abundant, spending money is abundant. We have to budget. I changed my regular sugar to coconut sugar. Is that better or no? Not really. Coconut sugar is a little bit lower on the glycemic index than sugar, but it is still crazy, crazy high in carbs. This is keto. I put this on top of this right here. Swerve brown sugar. This is really good brown sugar. Yeah, coconut sugar is, it's just sugar. It's essentially sugar. So I would encourage you to find a better option. Christine asks, what do my macros look like? So I try and get 30% of my daily calories from protein. And then the rest is minimal carbs, probably, for yesterday. Let me just go to yesterday. MyFitnessPal. I tracked my food. Yesterday, my carbohydrates were Well, it doesn't show me net carbs, so this is probably a little less. It's saying my carbohydrates are 12%, but that's got some fiber in there. My protein was 27% and my fat was 61%. This is more normal. The day before, I didn't eat. So yesterday I had the keto fudge, and that's got a lot of fiber in it. So the day before I didn't eat the keto fudge. My carbs were 3%, my protein was 28%, and my fat was 69%. So I just want to make sure that I get plenty of protein. So 30% protein. And what day was that? I had 1,759 calories that day. And I did some exercise. This was yesterday. Oh, wait. No, not yesterday. The day before, Wednesday. I did 30 minutes on the Peloton and I walked 12,000 steps. So that was my Wednesday. Today is going to be pretty similar. I want to say I'm not going to lift any weights today. I'm going to do my 12,000 steps, and I'll probably do the Peloton later because I just feel so good. I just can't describe this. I guess I can describe the feeling. Euphoric. When you get into this state of nourishing your body with good foods that don't make you feel like crap, sugar, ups and downs, I can go all day. Yesterday on my way home, I was so pumped up to do the Peloton. I couldn't wait to get on the Peloton and get a personal record. And I did. There was a ride that I wanted to do, the Greatest Showman ride. It's my favorite one. And it gets me so pumped up. It's like, you know how they describe a runner's high? That's how it feels. It's like a exercise high. And I wouldn't have that energy, that solid state, amazing, steady state of energy if I was eating carbs all day. I would not have that. I would be crashing. I'd be sleepy halfway through the day, wanting to take a nap potentially. I wouldn't be all pumped up, ready to do the Peloton. Definitely not. So it's just, and then I got a personal record and it felt so good. And then after that, I was still so pumped up. I lifted weights. So it was amazing. Yesterday was just euphoric, and I have a feeling today is going to be the same. Well, all right, guys, that was all the questions that I've gotten so far. This story hasn't expired yet, but this was really great. I'm going to finish my breakfast, and then at 11 o'clock, I have an appointment. I have a call with Facebook. So I will see you guys on next week's vlog. Bye.